Hello again, everyone. In this video, I want to address a comment and a question that I had on one of my other videos, and it was a very good question and interesting comment. So I answered it in the comment on the video, but I thought it would be better if I made a video about it because it is a very good question. And so in the comments of the video, the person who commented on the video, I was in the midst of going back and forth with the person on comments. I was explaining to them that there is a difference between the New Testament and the New Covenant. And the person, I quoted to them Hebrews 8, verses 8 to 11, where it says that for finding fault with them, he saith, Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. And you can read the rest of that, but it says that he will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah, and that is a future event yet to take place that God is going to make with Israel. And the person, his comment was that he noticed that in the modern Bibles that the New Testament has been places where you see the words New Testament, it's been changed to New Covenant. And he asked me if I could comment on that. And my answer to him was that there's several reasons why they do this. And the one reason is, if you're a King James Bible believer, you understand that all the modern Bibles are satanic perversions. And one of the things that that is going on in that when changing the New Testament to New Covenant is that their translators or the devil is trying to destroy the Christian's ability to see when the New Testament begins. It doesn't begin with Matthew 1:1. It begins with the death of Jesus Christ. You see that in Hebrews 9, 14 to 17. You can read that there. It tells you when the New Testament begins. But if that's changed to New Covenant, then you don't see that, but they still retain the words New Testament at the beginning of Matthew chapter 1. And so if you understand that the Old Testament deals with the law, and you would naturally think that the New Testament deals with grace, and so you think New Testament, they confuse the collection of books that comprise the what's called the New Testament in the Bible with the actual New Testament, which begins with the death of the testator, Jesus Christ. So that's one reason. The other reason is, and there may be more, but these are the top two that I think, is that all the modern version Bibles they're Catholic Bibles. They come from the Vatican. They come from the Vatican manuscripts. And so when they change New Testament to New Covenant, the Catholic Church teaches replacement theology. And that's one of the themes in the modern versions is replacement theology. And so what they do is when they change New Testament to New Covenant, then it makes it easier for them to teach replacement theology. When they make the New Covenant then apply to the church, when they change New Testament to New Covenant, then you can teach that easier. So that's another reason why they do that. But there is a difference. Then he asked me, his question was then, he said if if the New Covenant has not happened yet, then why does Hebrews 8:6 read this? Hebrews 8:6 says, But now hath he obtained a more excellent ministry, by how much also he is the mediator of a better covenant, which was established upon better promises. And so his question was, if it hasn't happened yet, why is it using past tense there? And it's a very good question. And the reason that my explanation of that is because I'll give you another example of how this works. If you look at Genesis chapter 15, verse 18, this is what it says. In the same day the Lord made a covenant with Abram saying, unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt to the great river, the river Euphrates, and so forth, the rest of the verses. But you notice there it says, unto thy seed have I given. Looks like it's past tense. God sees it as a done deal. It's already finished. But if you read Genesis chapter 17, verse 8, it says, and I will give unto thee, I will give unto thee, and to thy seed after thee, the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession. So there, it's future tense. It says he will give them that land. But back in Genesis 15, verse 18, it says that unto thy seed have I given this land. So there it's past tense. And my explanation there is, and this happens other places. This is just one example I gave him. It happens a lot with Second Advent prophecy, where God will speak of a future event in the past tense. So the reason that it reads like that is because God sees that event as something that is finished. If he said it's going to happen, he's going to bring it to completion, and in his mind it's already finished. So sometimes he will speak of things that he's going to do in a past tense when it hasn't happened yet. So that's why Hebrews 8:6 reads in the past tense, and then following that it speaks of future tense. It says that the covenant which was established upon better promises, and it says that he is the mediator of a better covenant. And that's something that people who think the New Testament and New Covenant are the same thing, especially covenant or replacement believers, they'll point this out. That says, that it says that he is the mediator of a better, which means it's like presently happening, but later it clarifies that it's going to be made with Israel, and that's the same thing that it says in Romans 11:27. In Romans 11:27 it says, for this is my covenant unto them when I shall take away their sins. It's talking about the second advent, when Jesus Christ comes back to set up his kingdom. And you can also see in Romans chapter 9 verses 3 and 4, it says that the covenants pertain to Israel, Paul's kinsmen according to the flesh. I think that's all I wanted to point out on that. It says he is the mediator of a better covenant. You could say that, for example, I've already really explained that, but you could say, for example, that let's say there was a murder trial coming up in January. Okay, it's November right now, and you could say that Judge so and so is the judge of that murder trial. You could speak of a future event as him being that judge, because it's already declared that he is the judge of that trial. So you could speak. That's not really a problem. But the that question is very good about which was established upon better promises, and the explanation I gave there is the reason why it's written that way. God sees things that he's going to bring forth as already finished in his mind, and so it speaks that way. But you have to read the context again, not just one verse. Read the context of the whole passage there, and that will usually explain that one single verse to you that you're having trouble with. So that's all for this one. Have a good night.